Well, I guess we're doing geeky banter again. Ugh, I look like a fucking mess. Ugh. I guess it'll do. Hi guys, I'm Adam from GeekyBanter. This is our first new show in which I'm giving the loving working title of Yay or Nay. A new weekly series where I run through all the anime that I've been watching this season, give my points on the latest episode, and then just simply give it a yay or a nay. As this is going to be a show where may contain huge spoilers the further we get into the season, there will be a card before I start talking about any anime that will last a couple of seconds, so you have the opportunity to pause and skip ahead, and I'll put timestamps in the description down below, so you can skip to the shows that you want to hear about. Now, as you can see, we're starting the series on week 4 of the season. This is partly due to me dithering a bit, and it's also partly due to I wanted to get past episode 3 of series so that I could understand the shows a bit, just for this first season, mind you, so that I know what I'm talking about and I know that, I understand what's going on. Right, I think that's all the admin done. So if you're ready to join me, let's begin with God of High School. By the time that this episode is probably released, you'll have likely seen episode 4 of God of High School. But this show is written on a Sunday, and it's filmed on a Monday afternoon, so this will be the straggler of the pack. But episode 3 was a fantastic balls-to-the-wall romp of fight scenes, snippets, and clues as to what's going on behind the scenes as we build up the world. The telling of Dai's backstory and his reason to fight helps the show grow even further before the awesome climax of the episode with the fight between Mori and Commissioner Q. Webtoon fans have said that there is a lot to be desired with this adaptation, as they've changed a lot from the source material to fit the anime pacing in the same way that they did for Tower of God, but for the people who've just been watching the series, so far it's just a fantastic powerhouse of a show, so it's a yay from me. ReZero. We've already had to go through a lot in this first section of Season 2, with what's happened to Rem and Krush, meeting Frederica and finding out about the disappearance of the people of Arlem, along with Ram and Rosewell. With this week's episode featuring a conversation between Subaru and Echidna, discovering Sanctuary and finding out about the Graveyard Trial, we immediately get a lot of stuff happening at a blistering pace. Subaru being bad at decisions is always incredibly annoying, but Echidna is an incredibly interesting character that I look forward to finding out more in the coming series. I also hope to somehow see an interaction between Echidna and Amelia at some point in the distant future. The cliffhanger at the end of this episode is also really intriguing. Cannot wait for this week's episode. Yay! Deca-Dence. This was the sort of show that I really needed to do a couple of episodes before I started talking about it. Episode 1 gives us this really great world. Episode 2 tells us a lot about what's happening beneath that main story, but it's incredibly confusing to process. This week's episode helpfully explains how each of the elements combine with each other and has easily become one of the sleeper hits for me this summer. I'm really looking forward as to how they're going to progress the story along as we go through the rest of the series. But for me, yay! Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. The third stage in the life cycle after Takagi-san and Nagatoro-san.
But we all know that Nagatoro is best girl, and I cannot wait for a series to come out.
Uzaki-chan is the best trash anime of the season. It doesn't take itself too seriously. The fan service is ridiculous, and every character I've met so far has just been fun to watch. This week's episode, we met Ami, Sakurai Sr. and the daughter of the owner of the cafe. We had obligatory fan service, there was hypnosis, and the best bit was Uzaki tending to a sick Sakurai. Hilarious show, the comedy, the ecchi moments, the relationships between the characters, it's all just been a lot of real fun. Yay! Fire Force. Oh boy, this show has been a real ride. I don't understand how they managed to get through so much in such a short amount of time. The series' pacing is just out of this world. In 4 episodes, you've built up the next arc and meshed it into the world, introduced a ton of new characters, and given them meaning, given development, and in this week's episode, given us a battle that is constantly growing, building up each area of the battle, and I absolutely just cannot wait to see what happens to the fifth pillar. Fire Force Season 1 was one of my favourite shows of last year, and this season just cannot stop me from dishing out similar praise. Yay. Rent a Girlfriend. Now this was the show that I was most looking forward to at the beginning of the season, because I'm actually reading the manga to this series. Unlike most people, not a massive fan of the art style of the show, just something about it doesn't really sit with me. But for the love of God and all that is holy, going through Kazuya, being actual scum all over again, is just painful. Painful. I literally, just a few weeks ago, spent a couple of days rewatching the entirety of Re:Zero all over again in preparation for this season. And I absolutely think that going through Kazuya, being such a simp, is the new standard for me of what I imagine water torture to be like. This week's episode at the beach had really great moments. I feel for poor Chizuru having to deal with all this BS. This absolute BS. Mami is even more despicable in the anime, so I'm glad that she can now join Rachel from Tower of God and Bitch from Shield Hero on the new Mount Rushmore of anime characters who can go commit Sudoku. Thankfully, I know all the good stuff that's coming, and I'll be watching the rest of this series with bated breath. Nay for the awful things, yay for Chizuru. Monster Girl Doctor. It's time. I have to talk about this show, because if Uzaki-chan is the top tier trash show of the season, then Monster Girl Doctor is the crap tier one. Everything about this show is cliche and predictable. From the story to the fan service, it just screams tacky. And you can use the same line of description for Uzaki-chan, admittedly, but the key difference between these two shows is how they deliver the jokes, and how they deliver the fan service. Uzaki-chan has moments that make you laugh at the ridiculousness of the situation, but Monster Girl Doctor is the force the fan service into the moment, because hey, that's funny, right? Right? This week's big moment is when a flesh golem has parts of their body sewed back on or some shit. And although it's perfectly fine for her arm to be reattached and they could have a really touching moment, the moment it was the leg, this character just becomes an overreacting hentai voice actress. Whereas I enjoy certain dumb ecchi moments in anime, this series generates cringe. I was literally watching this last night, going, oh god, please stop. This isn't even good. This show does not deserve your attention. Nay. Nay, 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 nay. Well, there you go. That's episode 1 of Yay or Nay. What did you think of the show? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, let me know of your opinions of the shows over Twitter. You can find me at StillAdamClark. And thanks for watching GeekyBanter. Like down below and subscribe for more geek content coming soon. Follow us on all the social media. It's at GeekyBanter. And thanks for watching. I'll be back next week for more Yay and Nay. And remember, it's just a bit of banter, mate.